Well, I thought I'd try something a little bit different for this blog entry. I'm going to try a video blog, just see how it goes. Maybe you can let me know what you think about it. Anyway, I'm currently en route to Singida, where I'm going to be spending a few days there. But I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. This last week has been an interesting sort of week. It's been mostly used up with dealing with bureaucracy here in Tanzania. For some reason that no one has been told about, the immigration department has decided that the residence permits need to be replaced with new residence permits. And so every single temporary resident in Tanzania has to go into the immigration department and go through a long process of filling out paperwork to just apply for a reissue of the permit that we already have. There's no money involved in it, which is kind of amazing here. But I started out last Friday and spent the entire day collecting the paperwork, bringing it home and filling it all out. I took it in and only be told there was some bits missing, so I had to go home and redo it. And that's been what's happening for the next few days. On Monday I went in, there was something more that they needed. Tuesday I had thought I had everything, and then they said I needed my original permit. I needed to bring that in and leave that with them. How can you get a new permit if you don't hand in the original? Remember I told you. Well, she didn't. But anyway, so this morning I handed in my original permit, and hopefully by the end of the year or thereabouts they'll get the new permit sorted out. The bureaucracy here is something to be beheld. You know, Tanzania after the First World War became a British colony. Now, the British were wonderful with bureaucracy. I believe they must have kind of invented it. Well, so there's all that layer of bureaucracy. Then, at independence in 1962, the country experimented with socialism, and that added a whole new layer of bureaucracy. Since then, they've become democratic, but, you know, bureaucrats they don't like to give up any of their power. Their power is in paper. So I ended up with about almost a half-inch thick wad of paper that I had to hand in. Now, you can imagine the literally thousands of re-applications there are. There's no way that they're going to be able to ever read all that stuff. But you do what is asked, and each time they ask you for some more, you smile and say thank you, and try to have good grace and come back, and you know, it's a system. It's a difficult system, but somehow it tumbles along and works. So we work with it. We had our weekly leadership study last Thursday. Yesterday. It was on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, just afternoon, just past 1 o'clock. Now, anyway, we had a good study on Tuesday, a leadership study. One of the things that I've tried to do here is to build up the local leadership. This, I'm very aware, is a local work started by local Tanzanian preachers, and I certainly don't want it to become an Australian work or an American work. So one of the keys to that I see is the training up of leaders. So we have some very good preachers, but it's the teachers and the other leaders that we're lacking in most of the congregations. So what I've been doing is I started out weekly having a study in town in Phillips, inviting all the members from the local congregations, if they're interested, to come along. Well, we got the preachers coming, but it was a little bit too difficult for anyone else to come along. So we changed that about 2 months ago, and we were meeting in the church building in Makamira, about 20 minutes out of town, hoping that the leaders from there would come along and I could bring the Phillips leaders in the car. But we haven't had a great turnout to that. So I'm planning on doing a slightly different take on that, where I'm going to be going to the local congregations, working with the local preachers, and just having smaller studies with the leaders of that local congregation. So that's what we're planning. I'm just looking out here. I'm sorry, I can't let you see. But we're just passing Lake Manyara, which is one of the national parks. That's over on the right here. On the left is Tarangire National Park. So you can imagine there's village farmland in between. You can imagine the wildlife just uses this as a highway to get across. So it must be very difficult to live there. But they do. I think the local villagers understand that the wildlife bring in a tremendous amount of capital into the country. But anyway, what else can I tell you about? Okay, this trip to Singida, the congregation in Singida, I've written about that several times, but that was started by a young man by the name of Samuel Nandi, who last year, around the holidays time, this time of year really, a bit later, he travelled to his home village, Singida, to visit his family. And while he was there, he started talking to them about the gospel, about the church. And, well, we have 2 congregations as a result of the efforts of this young man. He's been, stayed in that area. He has a hard time getting funds. There's a lot of unemployment there. But, so finances are very difficult for him, but he stuck it out. And so I try once a month. Sometimes I don't make it each month, but once a month to go down to help him, to encourage him, to study with him, and to study with his local contacts. And so that's what I'm doing here. It's Wednesday today. I'm planning on staying through Sunday and coming back to Arusha on Monday morning. And so that I hope to be able to spend some good time studying with the people there. Well, that's about it for this video podcast or video blog. I hope that it works out well. If it does, maybe I'll do it some more. So on the highway between Arusha and Singida, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.